Hello everyone, today I'll show you how to replace brakes on a 2009 Audi A4. Before you start working on the car, or even before you order the pads, call Audi dealer with your VIN number to check what brakes you have installed. There are 3 different brakes available on the A4, and depending on what your car is equipped with, you may need to order different brake pads. We will start by removing the anti-vibration spring from the caliper. You will need 2 screwdrivers while you are increasing tension on the spring, pushing it towards the back of the car. You would be able to pry the other part from the hole inside the caliper. Just be careful, because sometimes those springs fly. Next step is to undo 2 13mm bolts from the back of the caliper. Do not remove the 12-point bit bolts from the back of the caliper. That's not needed. You don't need any special bit sockets. Just simply remove the 13mm bolts. Those 13mm bolts are actually the sliders for the caliper as well. There are just 2 of them at the top and at the bottom. They're very easy to remove. As you are removing those bolts, make sure that the rubber that touches the other part of the caliper, it does not stick. You may need to play with it a little bit to allow it to be removed with the caliper from the car. That's what I'm doing right now. Feel free to hit the caliper with the hammer if you have problems removing it, so the pads would work a little bit, so you can remove the caliper. Always secure the caliper with a wire so it does not hang on the brake line. You do not want to damage the brake line. So what I'm doing here, I'm just using a wire and attaching the caliper to a control arm on the car, so it just hangs on that wire. The next step is to remove the sensor, the old sensor from the car. I already cut the wire previously. What you do, you just stick a screwdriver and pry on that notch of the sensor and twist it. Now to disconnect, you just push this button and pull the connector from the sensor. Now we'll start removing the old brake pad. The inner brake pad is very easy to remove. It's inserted into the piston of the caliper. In my case, the outer pad was not so easy to remove. It seems that whoever did the brakes previously used a silicone to prevent any noise or vibration, which generally it's not that bad of idea because it really works. The problem is what you can see here. It's actually removing the pad from the caliper, because it's almost it's pretty much like glued. So I had to smash the pad with a hammer, and now I'm using a screwdriver to pry off the shield that was stuck to the caliper. The next step is basically pressing in the piston on the caliper. The best way to do it on this car. You don't need any special tools, any brake kit. You can use a C-shaped clamp vise and just work with it. You may need to squeeze or press the piston in from a different angles. That's what I'm doing here, because my C-clamp is a little bit on the small side, so I could not fit it straight. I had to put in on an angle, push in the piston a little bit, and I'm just moving it around, and as you can see, the piston is fully pressed in. Now when you get the new brake pad, the clip that goes into that piston is kind of loose, so you have to install it fully. There is a notch sticking out of the pad, and you have to squeeze that clip so that the hole on the clip attaches to the notch. As you can see, it takes a little bit of work. That's what I'm doing here, and here it is, installed correctly. That's very important to complete. Please do not overlook this part. So here we have the brake kit, basically the inner and outer brake pad, as well as the sensor. The sensor does not come attached to the brake pad. You have to attach it to the inner brake pad. What you have to do is to push in the sensor into the slot in the brake pad. Make sure that the wires are on the outside of the caliper, just like so. Make sure that that sensor is pushed all the way in. You can compare to your old brake pad how far that is pushed. The next step is basically installing this brake pad on the caliper. All you have to do is to put the wire through the slot in the center of the caliper, and once that's done, you will install the pad basically by pushing the clips on the outside of the brake pad into the piston. With the brake pad installed, make sure that you are securing the sensor wire. There is a hook on the other side of the caliper. Just put the wire underneath that hook, and at this point we can install the outer brake pad. Always make sure that you are using brake grease, anti-vibration grease, anti-noise grease on those brake pads. This is where somebody used silicone before. I'm just using regular brake grease. Okay, so now we can cut the wire that secures the caliper, and we can install the caliper back on the caliper frame. In this shot you can actually see there is a notch on the caliper frame. That's where the slots in the brake pads have to fit on. That's where the slider goes, is being attached to. So as you can see, I'm taking the brake caliper, and I'm installing it over the rotor and onto those notches on the caliper frame. You may need to play with it a little bit to make sure that it goes on properly. Now we want to secure the sensor wire. On the other side of the caliper there's a rubber loop. You basically have to open it. Probably you already have it open from removing the other wire. just put the wire through and close it. All you have to do is just push down that notch on the loop, and it would kind of click in onto the other part of that loop. With the wire secured, we have to connect the two ends of the wires. When you are connecting, make sure that you push it all the way in. You have to feel a click. A little bit of pressure is needed. Once that's done, install the connector onto the bracket. All you have to do is just by rotating, you will get a feel by rotating the clip. You would need to push it a little bit so you get the notch on the bracket, and it will fit right into the hole on the bracket. The next step is to install your 13mm bolts back into the caliper. I'm starting with the upper one. You may need to play with your caliper a little bit to make sure that it goes through the hole into the threaded part on the caliper frame. Do not tighten down those bolts at this point, because this caliper needs to still play a little bit. It is needed that so in the next step we can install this retaining clip or anti-vibration spring. Now you would do the opposite of what we do when removing this clip. You would use your screwdriver to push the clip over the caliper and that notch on that spring into the hole in the caliper. Make sure that there is a little bit of distance for that notch to go over the caliper, and once it's in, very delicately hit it with a hammer to fit it back into the proper position. Once this is installed, you can tighten down your 13mm bolts on the other side of the caliper. Probably you could feel when you are undoing those bolts at the beginning that there isn't a lot of torque on those bolts. Just don't over torque it. You can either check the specs, or you can just get a good feel when installing it. You want it to be tight, but you don't want to break those bolts. Once that's done, pretty much your brake job is done. You can put back on the wheel and test drive your car. Pretty much that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and like the video. Feel free to comment if you have any questions, if you have any comments or any critique. I would like to hear from you guys. Thank you.